Many said that Jack Catterall needed to make a statement here to really show that he is one of the best 140-pounders in the world. Statement made against Regis Prograis, former two-time world champion in the division. Jack Catterall looking absolutely fantastic going away. And in the end, a very, very wide scorecard. And surely it's a world title next for Jack Catterall here as the crowd start to leave the Co-op Arena, which has now, I think, become the home of Jack Catterall. That's the plan anyway. Jamie Moore alongside myself, Tony Bellew and Andy Lee. Jamie, look at the smile on your face. You enjoyed that, didn't you?
I did. Well, I say I enjoyed it. There was a few shaky moments, obviously. Jack, first time ever in his career, amateur or pro, he's been on the floor. So again, that's experience under his belt. But to be able to turn it around, you know, I had it quite close going into those middle rounds, and the way he turned it around, brushed himself off after that knockdown, and finished the way he did. You know, hats off to him. He's some fighter.
Tony, look, there's so many qualities that Jack has, right? I mean, his feet are fantastic, but surely composure and patience seem to be his biggest attribute.
He's impossible to prepare for. You're not going to get sparring partners like him. And I said this in the build-up, and I've said it all week. He's so heavy-handed. People don't give him credit for how hard he hits. No one ever sticks Josh Taylor on the floor and hits him the way he did. In that rematch last time out, he was hitting him every time he landed clean. And tonight, you know what? It's mad because I was shocked at how Regis Prograis took the left hand in the 4th round. I thought the one in the 4th round was harder than the one in the 7th. But fair play, Regis Prograis was really good as well tonight. His style was offsetting Jack at times, and until them middle rounds were over, it was nip and tuck. I think I had Jack 1 ahead after 6 or 7, but I could have had him 1 down. But in that 7th round, he comes out, he hits Regis, and he just goes through the gears, mate. He really does. He's a nightmare. He sticks to his game plan, which I love. He can adapt, but he doesn't want to adapt, and he makes you adapt to him, and that is the hardest thing to do as a boxer.
When you look at the scorecards, Andy, it's almost a surprise, really, because the first 4 or 5 rounds were so close. Could have gone either way, and then Jack just goes away. It's almost like he was annoyed at being knocked down. He's like, okay, if you're knocking me down, we're playing that game then. And then he just went through the gears.
It was knockdowns that separated them, really. For me, it was, and then how Jack finished up the fight. You know, in those crucial moments, he would always just find that one punch, whether it be a left hand or even some of the jabs were heavy. And they were getting a reaction from Prograis. You could see his legs were stiffening a little bit. But that's 2 signature wins. You know, those are 2 big names he's after beating them convincingly in Taylor and Prograis. And yeah, he has to know. How do you feel, Jamie? Like, how do you feel?
Tony's exactly right what he's saying. He punches much harder than people give him credit for. The reason he hasn't got as many knockouts on his record is because of his style. It's not because he doesn't punch. It's because he's a counter puncher, and he allows you to come forward. And what generally happens is the opponent feels the first 1 or 2 and thinks, I don't want to cover that distance. I don't want to get close to him.
What about? Sorry, Tony.
Was it so hard? You know, you two are both southpaws. That's 2 southpaws, and that's 2 world-class southpaws in there tonight. I'm interested to know, how would you have prepared for that, you guys? I mean, you know, you had to do it as a coach, but for you guys fighting each other, how would you have done that?
It was Prograis kept going to his right all the time. Was that something he expected with him, or?
It is, and
he just kept going around and around and around. You know, he didn't never once step that way.
You saw how cautious the first 2 or 3 rounds were. I really expected that. I was asking Jack to time him into that left hand. He sort of overreached. His timing was a little bit off. And to be honest with you, because of the delay, because of the injury, we can obviously talk about what injury it was now. He damaged his rib sparring. So that meant that the original date couldn't be fulfilled because we couldn't spar for it. We've not been able to spar properly for this fight, and one of Jack's best attributes is his timing. And you know yourself, you can't get your timing properly without proper sparring. So he was out for the first couple of rounds, and I always thought the first person who lands with a decent shot, the fight will ignite, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it certainly is what happened. I want to turn around. I want you to show you the top 10, Jamie. This is the top 10 according to the Ring magazine rankings. Obviously, Jack's going to fly up there now. Of that, obviously, look, the Liam Harrow one's the one everyone's been talking about. He takes on Richardson Hitchens in December. Is that the one you're looking for? Liam Harrow, the IBF champion,
Absolutely.
Or is it anyone?
Well, listen, I want Jack to fight for the world title. Doesn't really matter who against, but I would love the Parrow fight. You know, maybe now after tonight, when you can see Jack's, even though he was such a good performance, there was a few little vulnerabilities there, so he's more likely probably to take that type of fight. But he's got a big fight to come through against Hitchinson himself. Devin Haney is a nightmare for anyone.
Yeah.
And let's be honest.
That's what they say about Jack, by the way.
I know. And my next thing was, well, what I was going to say was, as a boxing fan, would I want to watch two fighters with those styles? Yeah. And I've got to be honest,
Styles
I wouldn't
make fights.
Exactly. Now, Liam Parrow and Jack Catterall is going to make a phenomenal fight. You know, those styles are really going to blend. Tiafimo, I think the plan for him to move up to welterweight. Jose Ramirez, another one who, you know, it'd actually be a welcome fight if we could get it for maybe if Tiafimo gives the WBO title up. Jack versus Ramirez would make for a great fight, and I'd welcome it because we'd get to train for an orthodox fighter instead of training for a southpaw.
If it's Parrow, you're going again. Same
got another southpaw again, yeah.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Valenzuela's not on the list. The current WBA champion, who beat Pitbull Cruz. He's a good fighter as well.
Yeah.
Andy Hiroka, let me tell you, phenomenal fighter. He was over, and they asked to come and spar. And him and Jack sparred, and I swear to God you'd have paid big money to watch it.
Is that good?
And it was really good. And then they came back and they sparred again. They sparred 8 rounds, phenomenal again. And they went to London, and I said to his coach, who's his dad, nobody will spar him in London, I promise you. I promise you. I said, stay here and we'll get some really good rounds in, because he was in the build-up to the rematch with Josh Taylor.
Okay.
And it's a southpaw. And they said, no, we've promised we're going to go down there and spar. They got down there, they ran me on the Tuesday, they said, no one's
turning up.
You know what's so good?
Nightmare.
You know what's so good about that list, Tony? And Jamie was going through it for us. So many great fights.
There is.
Like, there's so many good matchups in that list.
50-50.
Yeah?
You know what? I just don't like there's so many southpaws. I hate them. You guys shouldn't be allowed in the gym. The minute someone walks in the gym, put the right hand first, they should be thrown out. I despise them. They give me nightmares. But there's so many good southpaws on that list. So that means hard preparation, because it's hard to get the correct sparring. And then when they get in, that can happen for the first 4 rounds tonight. Thankfully, Jack lands that big left hand. But if Jack doesn't land that big left hand in the 4th round, it gets into a bit of a stalemate. And they're the fights you don't really want. So, you know, the Parrow fight I like, because Parrow's coming to fight.
Yeah.
Parrow's bringing on you. Styles do make fights. And to make the best fights, you've got to make the right stylistic matchups. And that, for me, is a dream.
Very quickly, Andy, I mean, this place, right? I mean, we've been begging for a new arena like this, right? The biggest indoor arena we've got right now. I mean, Jack can make this his home. Manchester are desperate for a superstar. Jack is that. Big fights here. I mean, look, Parrow's got to get past Hitchens, which is no gimme, but getting Parrow over here, I mean, they can nearly fill this place.
Yeah. He'll have some big Australian fans with him too.
Yep.
And it's great to have it here, you know, another arena for Jack. And it's well deserved, because he's been fighting away and on the road now, to have a home like this and support like this. And great for Jamie too, to build a stable of fighters to fill this place up as it goes on, and his gym gets bigger and keeps on winning like he always does.
Keeps on winning. Look, Jamie, nothing's going to make up for that travesty, really, the first Josh Taylor fight. But slowly but surely, he's starting to get the respect. And hopefully, with respect comes the accolades that he deserves.
Absolutely. You know, that's water under the bridge now. And the actual fight itself, Jack righted the wrong. And I just pray to God that he gets that world title opportunity. I know on his night, he can be a world champion. He should have already been a world champion. Everyone saw how he performed tonight. That was a potential banana skin tonight. I think people have got to start putting respect on Jack Catterall's name now, because never in a million years did he have to take that fight tonight. And we sat down, me, Sam Jones, Jack, we discussed opponents, and in all honesty, Jack Catterall said, get me Prograis. He said, I don't want a potential banana skin against a top 15 opponent because you struggle to get up to him. Yeah. I know I'm going to have to be on my best to beat Prograis, and that's it.
World title fight next?
Absolutely. Parrow versus Hitchens, let's see what happens, and then hopefully, I like the Parrow fight because, like Tony says, stylistically it's a much better matchup.
That'll be a great war, isn't it? Be a great war. Jamie, congratulations on a fantastic night.
Cheers,
congratulations to Jack Catterall as well. First time coming to the Co-op Arena, and didn't disappoint, did it? The noise in this building went crazy when Jack showed just why we consider him not just one of the best 140-pounders in the world, one of the best fighters in the world. Hopefully, fingers crossed, a world title next. Thank you to our team. We'll see you next time on DAZN.
You're going to see a war on Saturday night in Manchester.
It's now time for a special welterweight title attraction. I
Perfectly timed right hand. Heavy shots from McCormack.
Bit of a cut on the eye now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the rematch.
Here we go again.
There was a little clash of heads there.
I'll still be here standing. Every dog has his day, it's been mine since day one. You let the pressure bother you, and I do what I gotta do. Let's go hard.
It's now time for Jack Catterall versus Regis Prograis.
Oh, not until they give it a knockdown. Oh, he's down. Oh, both of them swinging right to the final bell.
The winner, Jack Catterall.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by William Hill.